𝐜𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥 というわけか。
So, believe it or not, I'm a human just like you. And what that means and why I'm starting the video that way is as I review shows, as I review anime, as I review video games on my other channel, my opinion is definitely swayed on my feeling that day. You know what I mean? Like the mood that I am in that day, that week, hell, that month definitely is going to dictate how I view or watch something. And in terms of anime, what typically happens a lot is I tend to review around 10 anime a season. So it means I watch religiously by week and I review about 10 anime on the channel. Outside of those 10 anime, I'm typically watching another, at least 1 to 5 other anime on the side, So, like, for example, and I'll give you an example right now, right, is, for example, this season I'm watching 12 anime specifically for the channel. I'm dropping 2 of them, so it's only going to end up being 10, and then I might drop 1 more. But, like, for example, right, like, I am still on the side of this show, right? I'm still watching Our Dating Story. I'm still watching Ancient Magus Bride. I peeped into Faraway Paladin. Then we have, 𝐒𝐻𝐸 Kaisen, that I'm watching, not like religiously, but I'm still watching. So there's still a lot of other stuff that I'm watching. Now, again, why am I saying all of this? Well, the reason is a lot of times when I'm watching a plethora of anime, like a good amount of anime, when you have something really good, or like, yesterday, for example, the shows I watched yesterday was A Returner's Magic and Tear Moon Empire and Pokemon. And all 3 of those shows, Tear Moon and Pokemon specifically, like they had really, really, really good shows this week. Like they had really good episodes this week. So then when you transition into the next show, whether it's the same day or next day or maybe in a couple of days, that high that you got from watching that show doesn't disappear. So when you watch another show, it doesn't quite meet that. It really stands out quite a bit. So why am I starting the video off this way? Well, I'm saying that I'm human, and I'm saying that the episode number 3 of Demon Sword really sucked. And I'm a little bit worried about it, you know what I mean? And the reason that I think it sucks is I think that it's trying to lean into the Shoto or Shota, whatever you call it, the Shota, risque type show, right? Like if I look at what it's called on the show, it's ecchi. Okay, so I guess that's what you say. It's harem and ecchi. But it's dipping its toe into it. It's not like going full tilt, right? And I think that's the problem that I'm gonna have with the show long term is the story I thought was pretty good, but as I've gotten into episode 2 and episode 3, I'm starting to see that the plot and the story itself is kind of like a backseat in a way to the potential ecchi that is trying to kind of like carry the show. I think they say, well, maybe we have a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 story, but them boobas though, right? And that's now elevated up. The problem that I have with shows specifically like this that I can tell is it goes the PG-13 route of ecchi. And when you do that, right, it's like, it's a tease in a way. When you have shows on the opposite end, like High School DxD or what's another good one? The Redo Healer or stuff, like they go all the way in. Now, High School DxD is probably a better example because they got when they go booba, they go full. You're getting to see everything, right? So as a viewer, you're getting a really good story. I actually really like the story of High School DxD. It's stupid, but I like it a lot. But then you're also getting full exposure to the tatas, right? And I think when you do that, it makes more compelling and it allows the show to be more carried by the ecchi that it provides. On the opposite end, when you have Redo Healer, like there's an uncensored version of Redo Healer where they don't quite show everything, but I mean, like, they show 75% of everything, right? And the story of it, the revenge plot story of that specific show is pretty good. And it's kind of like, it's batshit crazy in a way. And then when they go to the ecchi part of it, like they go there. So that's what makes those shows compelling. When you have these shows that just dip their toe and they're like, maybe you see a titty? And you're like, okay, you know, and it's just not enough. Like, I much rather there be better story, better world building, better things that carry an anime versus the maybe a titty, you know? Like, I rather have that. And I'm starting to see that in Demon Sword, this might be a candidate for one that I drop. I'm going to give another episode, see how next episode goes. But this might be a candidate for one that I drop because I think that the episode 1 came and it was really good. I thought episode 1 was way better than I thought it should be. But then episode 2 and episode 3 have been kind of doo-doo. You know, they've been kind of poo-poo. And this episode specifically, god damn, I was bored. Like, I paused, I think, 2 or 3 times, and I just got on TikTok and just, like, I was more entertained by random strangers, you know, saying some bullshit on TikTok for a little bit. And then I went back, and I was like, okay, let's finish the episode. The last part of the episode I thought was, or the fight of the episode was okay, you know? And finding out about that she's the vampire queen is okay. You know, like, it was just okay. Like, it was all just, like, okay. Like, it just wasn't that... It just wasn't anything, you know? So, I'm at a loss right now for this show, especially, again, conveying that episode 1 was really good, you know? And a show where you have the Demon Lord returning and you have all this stuff. But they basically just made the Demon Lord... who was once undead, right? He was 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭. They made him into this little 10-year-old boy who, you know, gets his pee-pee hard a little bit every time a girl shows up, and he's dealing with that. And it's just not that compelling. And I also really don't like the fact that he's 10 and, like, something's just off. So, I don't know. We're going to give it one more episode, y'all. But if episode 4 kind of sucks ass too, I'm going to be dropping this one this season for sure. And I much rather insert, like, Returner's Magic should be special. I much rather insert, like, that show or Apothecary Diaries when that comes out here in a couple of weeks. Or what day is it right now? The 16th. So, when Apothecary Diaries comes out in 5 days, I much rather pivot into covering that every week versus then continuing to suffer through, honestly, a show that, like, I'm gonna be shitting on every week. So we're gonna see, though. Episode 4 could be redemption arc story, so we don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. I went in kind of hard, so if you're really loving this anime, very sorry for that, but gotta share real opinions. All right, my friends, see you for potentially the last episode next week.